You're there for a good laugh. If the movie is able to do that, if it is able to make you laugh, then it's a successful comedy. 皆さんこんにちは。英語ペラペラです。映画を見るのが好きですか？僕は大好きです。映画ってやっぱりいろんなジャンルがありますよね。今日はその映画のジャンルについてちょっと一緒に見ていきましょう。When it comes to movies, it really depends on your preferences, primarily your genre preferences. There's other factors, of course, like an accomplished director, talented actor, or maybe an adaptation of a property you're already a fan of, which is something we're getting a lot of recently. But, you know, I think for most people, it just comes down to their favorite genre. Action movies, where you're not necessarily in it for the deep storytelling. Most people go to see action movies for, well, the action. You know, guns blazing, ass kicking, gut busting. They keep your adrenaline pumping. And that's what's cool about these movies. You're in for the fights and super cool choreography. And by the way, choreography in this context means the coordination of fight moves and style. If you can feel the weight of a punch or the speed of a chase, the movie is doing its job. Comedy movies. Honestly, the story matters even less for these movies. You're there for a good laugh. If the movie is able to do that, if it is able to make you laugh, then it's a successful comedy. That's all I've got to say for that one. If it's a comedy movie I'm signing up for, then I'm expecting some good jokes and just laugh out the wazoo. Just laugh a lot. Romance movies. Movies about love. To be honest, I don't know much about that one because I don't watch romance movies. I'm okay with romance as an ingredient in movies where it's part of the plot, but where it's the main plot, I'm not as interested. The impression I get is that they're kind of cheesy. They're kind of cartoonish in their portrayal of the perfect relationship. Or a couple so in love with each other, but darn it, there's always someone or something standing in their way. I think you can only rehash that plot so many times before it starts getting too repetitive and predictable. I hear from some people that doesn't matter. That doesn't bother them because it's not what's going to happen that interests them, but how it happens. Interesting perspective. Again, to be fair, these are just impressions I have of this genre. Because like I said, I'm not too familiar with it. Horror. Not gonna beat around the bush. Gonna get straight to the point. You're in for the jump scares and subversion of expectations. You know, a lot of movies in this genre can get quite repetitive, but a relatively good idea with just the right execution could give you a really good, thrilling experience. They're one of those genres that people either absolutely love or totally avoid. You know the type. Some people can't get enough of the scares, while others close their eyes as soon as creepy music kicks in. Sci-fi and fantasy. We get to explore worlds outside of ours. Sci-fi stands for science fiction. It's basically fictional science. We take science from our own world or science that we know so far and just have fun with it. Our technology may be limited temporarily, but that shouldn't stop us from exploring exaggerated versions of it in movies. And a lot of the times, the amazing thing about sci-fi is the world building. As always, story matters a lot, but a huge component of sci-fi movies is world building. Visuals, like having futuristic tech or outer space settings, is pretty darn cool, but really, it's the way those elements are used. Some sci-fi movies use science or tech, or at least something that sounds like science or tech, as a springboard to ask big questions. Think about 2001, A Space Odyssey. Yeah, it has spaceships, which is a very common sci-fi element, and it looks stunning, by the way, for a movie that was made in the 60s. But it's not about spaceships. It's about evolution, consciousness, and our place in the universe. Fantasy is quite similar to sci-fi in that it explores worlds outside of ours. The only difference is it's magic instead of science. Magical creatures, wizards, dragons, and what have you. Documentary. You're here to learn, but not just that though. On top of it, you get entertained. So, education plus entertainment, also known as edutainment.
Portmanteau っていうのは2つ以上の言葉をくっつけて新しい言葉を作ることです。例えば edutainment, education plus entertainment, motel, motor plus hotel, cosplay, costume plus role play, animatronics, animation plus electronics, rom-com, romance plus comedy. To put it differently, you have experts explaining things very simply in a digestible way about a topic in their area of expertise. There's other types of documentaries too, other subgenres, so to speak. Actually, it's not always education focused, but yeah. Animated movies. Not a genre. I see a lot of people mistaking animated movies for a genre, but it's not. Animation is just a medium for storytelling. You could have any genre through that medium of animation. It's a wonderful medium capable of so many things, like bringing abstract ideas to life, building worlds, building entire worlds that could never really exist in live action. And if done right, animated movies tend to be amazing family experiences. Children would be mostly captured by the animations and the visuals. Meanwhile, the parents would be immersed in the story's more mature themes, while still appreciating the beautiful animations too. There's way more that I didn't cover, like thriller, western, musicals, and much more. And remember, a lot of movies are hybrid genres, where they combine multiple genres. There's also subgenres within genres. Which one's your favorite?
ぜひコメントで教えてください。
で、ここに終わりにしたいと思います。ちょっと長くなりましたね、動画は。だけど、少しでも勉強になった、役に立ったと思ってもらえたら嬉しいです。では、次の動画でお会いしましょう。じゃあね。